Welcome to an experience powered by Pipe TV.
The love of our community speaks. Real talks, real solutions.
Welcome to The Love of Our Community Speaks. I'm your host, Marcie Novella. Please pause for a moment and take a look at this clip.
If a boss raises their voice at you in front of your peers, the meeting is over. You are no longer an employee. You are a human being under attack. Do not yell back. Use the audience check. Level 1, the pause. Stare at them for 3 full seconds. Let the room get uncomfortable. Level 2, the volume correction. I can hear you perfectly fine. There's no reason to raise your voice to get your point across. Level 3, the walkout. I'm going to step out of the room until we can speak like professionals. Let me know when you're ready to talk. Teach people how to treat you. If you accept the screaming, you accept their lack of emotional control. We're not playing that game.
Please welcome Joe Grimes of Grimes Time Ready.
Thank you.
So, Joe, that was an amazing tip that you gave us, the pause.
The pause.
How did you get to that point of having that pause moment at work?
The pause came from necessity. I've noticed a lot of people that look like me in the workplace would oftentimes react to disrespect or escalations, or if they had customers that just, talk to them any kind of way, they would just react all the time. And I noticed that if you take at least 3 seconds minimum to pause, you can formulate an actual response instead of just reacting and saying whatever comes to mind.
Now I got to ask you, have you reacted in the past and now you learned from that?
100%. 100%. So the reaction comes from growing up in environments that I've grown up in, the hood, or, having to tolerate disrespect or feeling like somebody is testing you and having to stand up. So the reaction comes from having to defend yourself. And a lot of times we take that to the workplace. And my first experience with that is I had an escalation, first time dealing with escalations, and customers would come in and say the most disrespectful stuff. And instead of, I reacted a couple of times and I got pulled into the manager's office and was spoken to like, hey, you can't do that. And then I had to formulate myself the pause, because if I just kept reacting, I eventually would have lost my job. And so it was two strikes, and I avoided the third strike by implementing the pause. And that's how it came to be.
Now, this is very valuable information because, Joe, I read your bio, and your bio said that you come from a single-parent household. Not many male role models to give you the example that you needed. So your experience has come from work, and you learned the right and wrong way how to do things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The real experience came from going to a predominantly white institution. I'm originally from the South, from Orlando, and I went to a historically black high school in Orlando, Florida. It was the only black high school established before 1900s. And I went from that environment. I came to Pennsylvania to a predominantly white institution where I had to navigate the different dynamics in the culture shift. And I translated that over to the workplace, but then not everything that I grew up with was gone. So I had to find a professional angle, not just the student and the young adult. You can still get away with saying things and doing different things, but in a professional setting, you can't get away with much. And so I had to figure out a way to maintain myself and also explore the dynamic of being a minority in corporate America.
But let's just dig deeper with that experience you had. You started out at an entry-level position, and now where are your position?
Well, so I left corporate America at the end of last year, and I went all in on the businesses that I was developing while I was in corporate America. I started out entry-level customer service in a call center in the Pittsburgh area, taking escalations and first call resolutions, trying to deal with customers that's calling in about their disgruntled, opinions about their bills or how they felt like they got betrayed in a store. And so anything that you can think of that was an issue, it all went to a headquarters in a customer service call center, and that's where I was stationed. Very early on, about 6 months or so into my customer service journey, I was then transitioned over to an escalation-only queue because I was able to handle escalations and irate customers so well that I was able to translate over to that and take a bit of a pay increase. That also helped me to formulate my principles on how I navigate difficult conversations and talking to people like people and talking them off the ledge and tonality to get them to lower their voice as well.
So who's your target audience when you do your videos?
My target audience is young adults entering corporate America or mid-level career professionals that I can either show them how to act, what to do, what to expect from certain situations, and for the mid-level career professionals to remind them how they should conduct themselves or how they should position themselves to look for the promotion or get into leadership. Also for a few executives to remind them what leadership principles got them there, what leadership principles are most receptive to people that report to them, and how to overall gain influence at all levels. So the early young adult getting into corporate, mid-level career professionals, and even the executives. I work with a few executives for my consulting firm as well to teach them communication, executive presence, and how to position themselves as well.
Do you get feedback from your audience?
Oh, wow.
Because I can tell you from my personal experience, you have talked me off the edge. Working in a work environment where my temper could go this high, you brought me down.
Oh, I appreciate that. I get so much feedback on a daily basis. I get so many questions asking for advice, overwhelming amount of questions asking for advice. But I also get reminders of people like yourself who say, hey, you talked me off the ledge. Or every time I watch one of your videos, it reminds me of what I should be doing, or it reminds me to respond instead of reacting. I get so much feedback, and I get a lot of ideas from my audience as well. Some people will, selfishly say, hey, can you do a specific video about this? I'm dealing with this situation. And then I'll try to extract that very narrow view and then kind of make it more public in general for that, so that everybody can benefit from it. But 100%, I get so much feedback.
But you also do videos with just talking to people about life and the more important things.
100%.
And I appreciate those videos as well.
Well, thank you so
I'm
much.
a fan.
Thank you so much. I have 3 content pillars. I call it the corporate savage, which is the majority of the videos that a lot of people gravitate to. I have the tough love motivator, the ones that's like, hey, it's real talk, very candid, very direct, is to wake people up and get them to believe in themselves and self-develop, because that's what you need to do to progress in life. As nobody's going to do it for you. It's all on you. And then I also have the big brother mentor that talks about finance and manhood and how to conduct yourself in general. So those are my 3 content pillars that I consider when I put together content. So a lot of that real talk that you see is either going to be the tough love motivator, or it's going to be the big brother mentor that's giving finance advice and, hey, set up a 401k, set up the IRA and things of that nature 100%.
And once again, no one taught you this. You had to build and develop this on your own. Is that correct?
100%. I had to stumble, find my way. A lot of the financial advice that I give out are things that took me so long to actually implement myself that I want to give people a shortcut. So when it comes to 401k planning, when it comes to investing, those things was never taught to me. So 5 years into corporate America, I could have been accumulating a nest egg, but instead, I didn't contribute the amount that I could have contributed to compound over time. And I'm just trying to save people a little bit of time.
Now, just out of curiosity, you wasn't taught this. How has that impacted your family life today?
Well, I made the necessary changes to where I almost had to play catch up. So, for example, 5 years into my corporate career, where I wasn't investing into my 401k or retirement like I should, when I got to a position where I was comfortable enough to save, instead of just leaving money in a checking or savings account, I just started pouring as much as I could to catch up for all the lost times that I had previously. And so as far as the impact to my family, they don't see the financial aspect of it because I just, my wife, I let her do her thing. My kids, I let them, they'll know about the money when it's time. I teach them principles, but we're able to go on more vacations, and that's all that, they care about that. We're able to, eat steak once a week instead of every other week, So it's little changes that they may notice, but I don't really talk about it too much with them.
Okay. So when you attend the family reunion, do you come off as a person that changed?
Well, when I attend a family reunion, I don't come off as a person that's the same person that you see on camera. And this had taken a long time for me to develop as well, to bring myself, my voice, outside of work as well as inside of work. So when I go to the family reunions, when I go to the cookouts, I'm still me. And people know me as me. They got over this version of me a long time ago. So they already expect this.
So this is not something that you turn on for just the camera. This is who you are as a person.
This is it right here. This is me 100%. The old version of me left probably 15 years ago that was stuck in that mindset of either victim, like, the world is against me, I didn't have this, and making excuses not to progress and develop. That left 15 years ago. And what emerged was what you see in the videos, the advice I give, and how I show up in everyday life.
I want to thank you so much because your growth is helping millions of people now. I see how many people are viewing your videos and clicking like. Mm-hmm. So you are touching the heart of people.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody that views. I've been putting out content for only 6 months. And within that time frame, I've been able to garner 700,000 followers across various platforms. So I can see the impact that it's making, and I'm appreciative. I'm grateful to be doing it.
And what's impressive to me is you're a person that I can see looks like us. So that touches me more because if someone else of another race did it, it may not have been received as well.
I think you're right. I have a motto that that I put on my website that I live by, and that is to be the mentor that I never had for the generations that need one. And when I put out videos, when I put out content, I think about the position that I was in when I was 18, 21, and more, and older, and I cater that information to that individual that could benefit it the most.
When we get back, we're going to talk more with you, Joe. And we're going to talk also about the books that you have out.
All right, let's do it.
I got my 2 copies right here.
Let's go.
We are going to dig into what inspires you to write for others.
Let's do it.
I'm Marcie Novella, The Love of Our Community Speaks. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Love of Our Community Speaks. Take a look at this next clip.
The moment they ask, so what are your salary expectations? You are in a trap. If you say a number first, you lose. If you say a number too low, they underpay you. If you say a number too high, they disqualify you. Use the reversal instead. Put the pressure back on them. I'm sure for a role at this level, you have a budgeted range. Can you share with me what that is so we can be efficient on time? They have to give you a number. Once they say it, that's a great starting point for a base. But I'm more interested in the total compensation package. What do you got? Never show your cards until you see the pot. Send this to someone just getting started in corporate America.
Please welcome back Joe Grimes. Boy, I tell you, Joe, you touched my heart again with your video.
I appreciate it.
And it means so much to me because I think about the people that need it. When I was 20 years old, back in New York, I'm originally from South Carolina, and now I had a culture shock, just like you, coming here back to live with my mom in New York. And now I graduate from school, and the whole corporate environment was different for what I anticipated. And my mom wanted me to go with the city. Eventually, I end up doing that. And that was a shock. So how do you separate the different environments, work environments? You got corporate, you got city, state, military. How do you deal with people with those different backgrounds?
So I would say corporate is just one aspect of the workplace setting. And corporate America is relatable because when you think of corporate America, you think about big companies. But the same principles can apply to city jobs or any workplace. The only exception is going to be blue-collar work. Like a lot of the tips and tricks only apply to white-collar type of work or just regular workplace dynamics, city. But you get into construction, contract work, human behavior is a little bit different. But I would separate the other white collar, the non-contract type of work to everything else that I talk about. Most people in the workplace are bringing a version of themselves that's not really realistic. A lot of leadership, a lot of people that advance, they put on like different types of shows, they play the politics, and to a certain extent, you have to do that. But if you can find a way to do that without losing your authenticity, then you really win. But the reality is, most people that advance and do that, they only portray a certain version of themselves, and they're completely different when they leave the workplace. So you have to realize when you go into the workplace, none of the stuff that you hear, the disrespect, any of the things that come at you is not personal. And most of the time, people, they don't know you. And so when you take disrespect, or if you take the way people talk to you or tonality, the stuff that you wouldn't really tolerate back at home where people do know you, you got to leave it right there in the workplace because they don't really know who you are. And as soon as people realize that they don't need to take any of that stuff personal, you feel a weight come off of your shoulders and you go home in peace.
I'll tell you, one of the experiences I had was my hair. And I see that you have your hair the way it is. Can you just share with the audience, because 20 years ago, you would have had to been clean cut and you couldn't go in corporate America like that.
100%. I think I lucked out a little bit in having a corporate culture that was a little bit more accepting to diverse appearances, and was a little bit more receptive to people showing up as their true selves. So when I first started out, I was clean cut. I had, I had that for years. I started growing my hair out as a result of COVID. A lot of us were home based. We weren't customer facing all the time, and we were dealing with things virtually. So when I came back to the actual workplace where we were getting back into the norm, I grew my hair out. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of pushback on how you were perceived. I wasn't as customer facing because I was already in a leadership position. So I would make sure that as long as I was manicured or that I was well kept and presentable, that I would be okay. And I made sure that the people that reported to me were also able to express themselves how they want to express themselves as long as it's presentable. Like if I had dreads and it was, I came in looking tacky or anything like that, then, I would have a conversation with myself. But I think I lucked up in having a more relaxed, accepting type of corporate America. And that was a result to a lot of people who've been pushing for, the acceptance of who you are, the authenticity, bringing yourself to work.
Now, as a result of COVID, we also were open to a lot of virtual assignments. Mm-hmm. Is that a challenge with how to execute rules and regulation pertaining to the corporate world?
I don't think it's necessarily any different. I think you would handle relationships about the same. There's a little bit more, pettiness that can happen whenever you have messaging, communication, and quick access to people. And there's also different types of disrespect that emerge as a result of being in a virtual setting where people can go off camera and you don't know what they're doing and people show up to virtual calls late. So, but I think the way you deal with them and the way you communicate is similar. It's a little bit different when you're face to face because you can pick up the body language. You can't do that so much with Messenger or with the virtual, but it's just the way you communicate. So you just have to talk it out a little bit more and communicate it differently.
Now, as a result of all your experiences, you became an author.
That's right.
Congratulations for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Please tell us about your books.
Yeah, so I've written 3 books now.
I have 2 on my lap.
The latest
I gotta go for the third one.
The latest is Corporate Clapbacks, and where I give people the scripts that I talk about in my content on how to navigate workplace friction and deal with peers or managers that might be toxic or disrespectful. So I give people the human behavior behind it and give them the boundaries that they can to express themselves and maintain their peace. I have a leadership book that's near and dear to who I am and how I show up. So that was the second book that I wrote. And the first book is called The Savage Arsenal. It is business and financial literacy for the everyday hustler, where I give people the ideas on how to start a business. I give people startup ideas on what to do, how to start a business with less than $400. And as long as you have that hustle mentality, you can make 100,000, 200,000 as long as you put in the work. So Corporate Clapbacks just came out last week, and that is one that all of them are available on Amazon, and I'm very excited about that last one there. I think it'll help a lot of people.
So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you see any of your books evolving into film?
Ooh, I didn't think about that, but I will say the Corporate Clapbacks will be an audiobook that gets released by the end of this month. So for anybody who wants to consume while still being able to do everything or listen to it while they commute to work, it's going to be an audiobook form. That's been a huge request. A lot of people...
Is it going to be your own voice?
So it's going to be my voice, but there's a caveat to it. So I'm heavy into technology. And so what I did was I record my voice for an hour, and I get AI to clone my voice, and then I upload the clone of my voice into the audiobook that can read the whole thing. Otherwise, it would take me 7 or 8 hours sitting in a session, reading the books, editing out the mistakes I made. And so with AI, I think it'll be able to do it a little bit cleaner. So it'll be me, but some of the words might be a little choppy sometimes.
Well, I really appreciate your dedication. And you also have 3 companies that you are doing currently. Can you share that?
Yes, ma'am. So I have the consulting, which is the main thing that I do. Content creation is a consulting firm that I do where I coach high-level individuals, executives. I work with them one-on-one. I also have cohorts that I do, but that's Grime Time Ready Consulting. I have a long-term rental company. It's called Grimes Properties, mainly based in central Pennsylvania. I haven't expanded anywhere outside of that because it's close enough to where I can actually manage it. And then the third one that I have is my most recent business. It's an athletic apparel. It's called Inherit Noir. And part of the mission of that company allocates 15% of profits to youth development in our Black and minority communities. So,
I was really impressed with that as well.
Thank you.
So I'm so happy that you came out to our show. Please tell your audience where they can follow you
100%.
and support your causes.
Yeah, so you can follow me at any social is Grime Time Ready. YouTube is, you can get more long form content, more mindset, more philosophy. And then also, I have my own website. If anybody's interested in working with me directly, you can visit my website, grimetimeready.com, and you can submit a request to work with me.
That's excellent. We have one more clip that we're going to share. Can we roll it?
When the interviewer says, "So, what questions do you have for me at this time?" The worst thing you can do is say nothing. The second worst thing, the wrong question. Here's what to ask. Stick around for the last one. That one question alone has changed more interviews than anything else I've seen. Question 1. What does success look like in 30, 60, and 90 days? From your perspective. That question tells them that you're already thinking like someone who's in the role. You're not asking about vacation policy. You're asking how to win. Question 2. What do the top performers in this role do differently than everyone else? What separates the good ones from the great ones? Listen closely to what they say here. Because
I want to thank you so much for that as well. And I want to just let everybody know how important it is to do mentorship. This is a great example of mentorship. I want to thank you for coming to our show.
Thank you so much.
I'm Marcie Novella. Please also check out my book, Stupidity versus Common Sense, 10 Tips to Land Your First Job. And any closing words, Joe, that you want to share?
So if there's anyone that follows me on social media, please try to engage. The whole point is to create a community that uplifts and helps youth coming into the workplace and coming into adulthood. So if there's anything you can share that I sparked an idea, please don't hesitate to comment and share.
Thank you so much. Please follow Marcie Novella on all major platforms. Once again, this is The Love of Our Community Speaks. I'm your host, Marcie Novella. Thank you.